Some time ago I finished a Jim Kibler long rifle and I decided to make a case for it. I'm a mountain man reenactor and the rifle suffers a lot on reenacting camps, and a case can help, is practical and can be also nice. The option number one is buckskin because I am a stickler for the principle that buckskin is always superior to cloth. I was wondering whether plain or decorated, and my natural decorativeness won out over practicality. Now the question was how to make it stylish and historically correct. I don't know of any surviving mountain man rifle cases that left the option of making an Indian gun case. I checked my database of gun cases and it was clear. An Athabascan style Indian gun case was the perfect choice. It's simple, has precise architecture, can be decorated easily and effectively, is pretty, practical, stylish, and doesn't have the unnecessary heavy fringing like for example Crow or other tribes' gun cases, which is, I think, impractical and eats up lots of material. Quite a few Athabascan rifle cases have survived, although most of them date back to the late 19th century. However, I found one painting by Paul Kane from 1845 or 46 that shows John Henry Lefroy, who was a scientist and director of the Toronto Magnetic and Meteorological Observatory, wintering at Lake Athabasca during his expedition in search of magnetic north in the winter of 1843-4. In the painting, Lefroy is leaning on his rifle, which is resting in his Athabascan-style buckskin gun case. His companion, Corporal Henry, turning his back to us and wearing a grey capot, is carrying the same style gun case. It can be inferred that the Athabascan-style gun cases could be older, as it is already clearly developed in the painting. While the territory of the Athabascan-speaking tribes is in Canada, specifically in Alberta, which is further north where the mountain men operated, the distance is relatively small, and the possibility that the case reached Montana, Idaho, Oregon, or Wyoming through trade or personal interactions is significant. The pattern of the case is quite simple and straightforward, consisting of one or two pieces. The front piece, where the barrel is slightly conical and the case is flared at the trigger guard. The case is then widened, sometimes on one side, sometimes on both sides. There are apparently several types of patterns, and I made a diagram of what I think the various patterns might look like. The decoration is usually very simple and consists of 2 or 3 narrow cuffs made of buckskin or woolen cloth covered with a fabric of contrasting color. The cuffs are usually decorated with a floral beadwork. One cuff is then sewn into the point where the case widens, and the other is attached to the end of the case where the stock is. Cuffs are sometimes adorned with short fringes. There are also case variants decorated with quill work. Another decoration is the front hang at the barrel mouth, usually consisting of 2 tabs in the shape of a split snake tongue, decorated in the same style as the cuffs. The tabs are usually sewn so that when the case with the rifle is in a vertical position, the tabs hang downward. Sometimes the tip of the case is adorned with numerous buckskin thongs wrapped with quill work or not decorated at all. One of the typical decorative elements are tufts of thick multicolored wool yarns attached to the bottom seam of the case at regular intervals. The tufts are attached to the case by a short buckskin thong, often accompanied by larger commercial beads. However, in some extant originals, the wool yarn tufts are completely missing, or instead, there are only thongs wrapped with quill, decorated with commercial beads. I decided to make a case out of two pieces of buckskin. Once sure that the rifle fits the case perfectly, I cut the case from buckskin. The case is sewn inside out, and a strip of buckskin is inserted into the seam just like on the originals. I stitch it with real animal sinew, which is also typical for originals. After stitching, the case is turned inside out so that the face side is facing out. For cuffs, I used buckskin as a base, to which I sewed red woolen cloth, which I had previously shaved with a razor blade from hairs to reveal the fabric's texture of the weaving. I hemmed the cuffs with blue cloth. In the same way, I made the two front tabs in the shape of a fork snake's tongue. I make the beadwork floral, monochrome and simple, corresponding to an older period. I used old white seed beads. The embroidery is made with real sinew, with a cotton thread as a tacking thread. This is also a procedure that is typical for originals. The decoration with lines of white and later colored seed beads on a background of red or blue woolen cloth can be seen on many extant originals, as for example shooting or shoulder bags, powder horn straps, on garters and so on. Often these are works of Métis or Indians influenced by white influence. That's all I wanted to say today, and if you like my content, please hit follow and visit my website matotope.com. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.